Now let's take stock of the vaccination drive. Today is a good day to talk about it. It's the 14th of May, the same day when the first smallpox vaccine was administered. This was way back in 1796. It would take 200 years to eradicate smallpox. Now with the Wuhan virus, we don't have that kind of time. Thankfully, we have vaccines that are much more advanced. But how are countries faring in giving these shots? Look at this data carefully. In India, there's a lot of hue and cry about the shortage of vaccines. But how does India compare with other countries? In terms of sheer numbers, India's inoculations are the third highest in the world. After China and the US, India has vaccinated the highest number of people. But it makes a small percentage of the population because India has 1.3 billion people to cover. The world over, more than 1.38 billion shots have been given so far. It includes both first and second doses. The world population is more than 7 billion. So we have more than 5.5 billion people to cover. So buckle in for a long, long ride. The rate of vaccination is picking up though. This past week, 150 million doses were administered. At this pace, it will take 18 months to vaccinate the planet. And this is pure statistics. It doesn't factor vaccine inequity. It doesn't factor mutations. In the real world, both these things, inequity and mutations, slow down vaccination. Look at Africa. They're giving 400,000 doses per day, 4 lakh. They have more than 50 countries in Africa. At this rate, they'll take 11 years to achieve herd immunity, not even full coverage. Herd immunity, 11 years. In contrast, look at where the United States stands. 266 million doses in a population of 300 million. Close to 36% Americans are fully vaccinated, both doses done. But now hesitancy is creeping in. Last month, America was giving 3.4 million shots a day. Now it's just 2 million. They're offering free beer with vaccines just to get people to take the shot. The US has started jabbing teenagers as well. One of the very few countries to do so. They have 3 vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. The first 2, Pfizer and Moderna, doing the heavy lifting there. What about the European Union? Their rollout was off to a horrible start. There were shortages, suspensions, not to forget the blood clot hysteria. Now things have improved. They have administered 186 million doses. 12% of the population is fully vaccinated. 30% are halfway there. But the big headline is this. Europe is now giving 3.4 million doses per day. That's more than the US and the UK. And they're doing this with 4 approved jabs. Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. Let's talk about Canada. They have approved jabs for teenagers too. It may seem like they're racing ahead, but in reality, Canada is not doing so well. Only 2.7% Canadians are fully vaccinated. Now, this is a country that tried to hoard vaccines, 5 shots for each citizen according to some estimates, and 4 approved jabs. But look where they are. Now, a country where none of these vaccines are approved. Russia. Their rollout has been a disaster. Russia had a head start. They approved the first vaccine in the world, Sputnik V. But since then, everything has gone downhill. They have given 19 million doses. They have a population of 144 million. Only 5% people are fully vaccinated. 8% have got the first shot. It is slow. Japan has a similar story. There was a lot of hesitancy at first, but closer to the Olympic Games, numbers are picking up. Japan has delivered 5.5 million doses, which means 1.2% fully vaccinated citizens, only 1.2%. Still a long way to go. But Japan's biggest problem is that they have only one vaccine, and that's Pfizer. And one vaccine simply won't cut it. Compare this with Israel. They're much farther ahead. 56% Israelis are fully vaccinated. But remember, their population is barely 9 million. And now they're giving just 5,000 doses a day, just 5,000, and no masks outdoors. So where does India figure in this list? We showed you in the beginning. India has given 180 million shots so far. 3% of the population is fully vaccinated. 10% have got the first shot. We are administering 2 million doses per day, the same as the US. So in absolute numbers, this looks fine. But India has a population of 1.3 billion, 4 times America's population. So India will have to move much faster to achieve herd immunity, and that's where the problem lies. The numbers are very big. What is the government doing to get India ahead? They say that India will have 2 billion doses by December this year, 2 billion doses, and this would be enough to vaccinate all Indians, adults. But where are these vaccines coming from? Turns out they're still in the pipeline. At least half a dozen vaccines are being trialed. So 2 billion doses looks like a long shot, as we discussed earlier. On the plus side, Sputnik V is finally here. The first dose was given in the city of Hyderabad. They're going at $13.6 per shot, 1,000 odd rupees. It's a bit steep, but remember, this is imported. The Sputnik shots made in India should be cheaper. So we've told you about various countries and continents. What do these numbers tell you? Countries, rich and poor, big and small, are all struggling to vaccinate their people. Shortages are a global issue. So is vaccine hesitancy. The more people you have, the bigger your challenge. The other problem is this: nearly 2 billion of the world population is children below 18. Only a handful of countries have started vaccinating them. I wish I could end this story on a positive note. But there isn't a silver lining here. No positive news on patent waivers yet. No philanthropic move by Big Pharma. Just a slow, painful crawl to herd immunity. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.